Well, hello, everybody.
This year, we traveled over 106,000 miles, visited 24 countries, and stayed in hotels 153 nights. We're looking back at 2024, the highlights, the lowlights, and a preview of 2025. What's in store?
I'm Mark,
I'm Monica.
and we're traveling the world full time. We've been doing this since March 2023, and we think it's a great idea. And you should do this too to go back and look at all of your travel highlights from 2024. Try to relive those a little bit. If you wouldn't mind, put in the comments down below. We'd love to hear what was your favorite place or places that you went during the past year. And tell us also what are your plans for 2025? What are you most looking forward to? With that, let's go ahead and recap our year and maybe give you some ideas on places you can go in 2025. So you can see in the background, clearly we were in Rome in this picture in the Roman Colosseum. That's definitely one of our highlights on the year, and we'll certainly get through all of the places that we went. One of the things I want to share is some of the things that we did here and also give you some ideas when you're doing your trip planning in 2025 and even into 2026, because we're also planning some things already for 2026. One of the things we always advise in the channel is to book early. You have the best choices, the best flexibility. Most of the time, I see rates go up. I don't typically see prices on cruises, hotels, air go down. If they do, use one of our tricks, which we'll put a video link down below, which is the cancel rebook. We use that all the time to save money. One thing I noticed that's a little bit different in 2024 is we did not do a lot of time at Airbnbs.
No, we started out in 2023 with a lot of Airbnbs. We thought maybe that was the best, most cost effective way to travel. But it turns out it really wasn't because we've dialed into these hotel programs like Hyatt and Marriott. We like it better. You get great consistency when you arrive, especially late at night. We enjoy the hotels more than we did the Airbnbs for that reason.
We had some great Airbnb stays, but
Mhm.
we also had some that kind of surprised us, not in a good way, including times where we would check in and literally leave and we'd have to go somewhere else. I really have not had that experience with hotels. Not to say that every hotel is amazing, but we just had to have better consistency with hotels. Obviously, there's a security consideration. It's nice to have a front desk. Another thing is earning points. One thing I hate about Airbnb is there's no loyalty program. And that's something we really take advantage of.
Mhm.
This year, we became globalist on Hyatt. You need 60 nights and it takes some time, but there's a lot of benefits. We're staying at a Hyatt right now in Thailand. It's nice because we get free breakfast. We also get basically happy hour a night, but it's a full dinner spread. Pretty much. We've eaten dinner there 3 nights and it's part of our membership. And we had a room upgrade to a suite, which is super nice. We've had a lot of the same experience with Marriott. The perks and the benefits are so much more worth it. I would give you advice in 2025 and 2026, try to be loyal to certain travel providers that are your favorites. If you love IHG properties or you love Hyatt's or Marriott's or a certain cruise line,
Mhm.
don't make it your be all end all to the decision, but realize if you can build up some status, you're going to get a lot of perks that can be very valuable and actually save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
We actually, for this hotel, we use points to pay for it. And we've literally have spent, I think, 100 baht, which is about $3 on something out of the minibar. And the transfer was about $10 from the airport. That's pretty much what we're going to spend for the 4 days here. We did a lot of cruising. We did ocean cruising. We did a river cruise
Mhm.
as well. You came up with 14,720 nautical miles. We'll talk about some of our favorite cruises on the year.
Let's be honest, we're pretty motivated by food. That's one of the reasons we love to travel. We usually do an awful lot more food tours. We've done probably 60 in 20 countries, but we only did 9 this year. We went to some places we've been before. We do highly recommend food tours if you're in a new place, it's unfamiliar, or don't really know the local cuisine or where to go. Food tours are the best way to get introduced.
But you highly recommend it. Think about it on a short excursion.
Mhm.
Book a food tour. I would always book it independent. I can't believe how terrible the prices are directly through the cruise lines on their food tours. They're ridiculous. They're twice as much as they should be. So I would always look at Get Your Guide or Viator. Book your food tour through one of those two companies, or look up the city you're going to in Google and put Malaga food tours, and you will usually find one or two companies with great reviews.
And you get a lot of variety. If you've done a food tour in Malaga, maybe there's a walking tour or a tapas tour or a tour in a certain area. There's all kinds of different food tours that you can do, even cooking classes, which we've had success with as well.
We spent a lot of nights in hotels, not quite 6 months, but close. A lot of nights on the ocean. We had 70 nights sailing the seas. So that's 10 weeks, basically. few Airbnbs along the way. We also visited friends, we visited family, so we had some nights there.
Mhm.
And then we mentioned before, we have some fractional apartments in 4 cities in Europe that we share with other people. And we spent about 6 weeks total there. In 2025, we will probably do about 10 weeks, split between Paris, Rome, Cannes, and Barcelona.
Mhm.
And maybe we'll do a future video on that. If there's any interest, put it in the comments down below. We'd love to share that concept with you. It's something a lot of people don't know is out there and available, and we love it. So if you're interested, just put fractional condos, and we'll maybe do a video on that in the future.
We hit some new countries this year. First of all, Albania. We spent maybe 3 weeks there in July. It was awesome, but don't go in July because it's super hot
It's hot.
unless you want to spend time only along the beach. But we went all around Albania, and it's a beautiful country, wild, mountainous. There's some good hiking and a lot of great history. North Macedonia is right next to Albania, so we took a trip out there. Curacao is an island in the Caribbean. We spent some time there as well on a cruise. And South Korea, our very first tiny little step into the country. And we definitely need to go back for sure.
Curacao was great. We did it with some friends on a Virgin Voyages cruise. We'll probably talk about that later on.
Mhm.
That was definitely a highlight. And we stayed in the Rockstar Suites, which was awesome. One thing about Albania, speaking of lowlights, we did have a situation where the air conditioner in the car went out for several days and we had long road trips. So we did have the one stretch was like a 5 or 6 hour drive, no AC. It's probably 95 degrees, maybe 100 degrees, nobody in sight. So it was interesting.
There was the one stretch where we were on the side of the road. We had a guide who was there, and the car had overheated, and we're all just literally standing there in the middle of nowhere. Then you start doing the math about when you got to be at the next place and how you're going to get there and what's happening. So sometimes these happen, but
Yeah, it's
it
all,
all worked out.
it makes for memorable stories for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of memorable stories, U2 is one of your favorite bands since forever. And The Sphere, oh my gosh, these 2 came together to produce such an incredible show.
We just had a crazy February. We had a trip down to Mexico. We're probably not as much slow travel at this point. We're definitely moving locations a little quicker than some people. On
Mhm.
occasion, we have a 3 or 4 week stretch, like now in Thailand, where we stay in one place. But normally, we're 1 or 2 weeks at most somewhere, and then we move on. But everybody's style can be different with this lifestyle. If you want to stay 1 month to 3 months, some places we run into plenty of people who do that. We also run into a lot of people who are a week and they're gone and they move on. Whatever experience works for you. And we had some great trips with friends, some great trips with family. We brought friends in to Portugal. That was an amazing adventure back in May. We had family come in, including our daughter, visiting us in Paris and Barcelona. And we had one of those fun, crazy days where it just dumped on us the entire time.
The rain at Disneyland Paris from a hurricane or some kind of storm that had hit Europe.
And we also had an amazing trip to Japan. That was centered a bit around a cruise. We did a Azamara Japan Intensive. And that was a great time. We went during cherry blossom season. So it's the first time we ever got to experience that. We liked it so much. We booked a similar time frame in 2025. So this year we'll be doing the Southern Islands in Japan on the Diamond Princess with some great friends of ours. We're looking forward to that. Plus go back to Kyoto, Tokyo,
Osaka.
Osaka. So should be really nice. Some of the highlights for us in the year 2024, again, was the trips with family, the trips with friends. We had this amazing adventure in Rome with some longtime friends, and it was a blast the entire time. We extended it into Paris after that because it was just such a good time. We had family, like we mentioned, we did a friend trip in Portugal. We had family coming in to Barcelona and to Paris. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize with this kind of lifestyle is that it is not hard to meet people as you go because there are Facebook groups, organizations that put digital nomads and romads together. We've met all kinds of great people this past year.
Yeah. If you're doing a cruise, there's typically a Facebook group for your specific sailing, which is a great way to meet people in advance of your cruise. But then if you're nomadic like us, if you're doing this lifestyle, there's a whole group out there, a whole community of nomads looking to meet up in every city. We've met so many different nomadic people, and it's been so much fun.
That's also a great way to learn a lot. It's really nice to learn from other people doing a similar lifestyle because we get all kinds of great travel advice, tips, places to go. We try to share some of that here with all of you in the channel. We have spent some time this past year working on this YouTube channel.
Mm.
Speaking of that, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Please help us out and get discovered by more people. We put a lot into these videos, these decks. So we'd love more people to see it.
Thank you for watching.
We really appreciate it. It's a great community. We get amazing questions and comments. We grew quite a bit in this past year. We really started in 2023, posted a handful of videos, like a lot of YouTube channels, and forgot about it. Then we realized in 2024, I went back and looked at it, and one video on repositioning cruises had taken off. I'm like, huh, that's interesting. One video took off. So we started to create more content. We've tried the best we could to create one piece of content a week or more the second half of the year,
Hmm.
but we've been pretty consistent overall. We now have over 6,000 subscribers, adding a lot on a monthly basis. We've had some videos, I think, get over 50,000 views.
Hmm.
So that's been a lot of fun. So we really want to thank all of you for watching, listening, and please keep on helping us share it. In addition, you may not know, we have a blog that Monica works on. It's digitalromads.com. Feel free to pause the video and go over there if you want. You can also put your email there and we'll notify you when we have new videos, travel tips, travel hacks, all kinds of things. So check that out. Is there anything else in 2024 that stands out?
What was your favorite cruise that we did?
Favorite cruise for me, really hard to choose. I forgot how many we did.
I think 6.
I would say the Azamara Japan intensive for me definitely was an amazing experience. The people in Japan, the greetings we had at every port, they must get ships, but it was like a hero's welcome every time we got there and every time we left. We saw cities and towns that we would have never seen. Probably another big favorite for me was on Virgin Voyages. I think it was our third time on Virgin.
Hmm.
We went with great friends of ours, so that made it a lot of fun. The first time we splurged a little bit and went for the Rockstar Suites, and it was really worth every penny.
It was really great.
Okay.
My favorite of the year was also the Japan intensive. We went to 12 different ports in Japan. So we got to see a lot of the country, and they really pulled out the stops when our ship arrived. It was amazing to have such a great welcome.
Let's take a look and see what we've got on the cruising horizon for 2025. I know a lot of you watch the channel for the cruise content, and we regularly post amazing deals.
Mm.
We also book those deals as well. And a lot of you all are booking them as well. Coming up when we're recording this in January, we're going to be getting back from Thailand to California, and we'll be going through the Panama Canal and the Oceania Vista. Now, we've been on one other Oceania cruise, right?
That's right, the Riviera. So
So,
the Vista is a newer ship, is that right?
yeah. So we're excited about that. I will be honest, our first Oceania cruise, I loved where we went. I didn't love the cruise itself for a few different reasons. I didn't think the food was as amazing as it was billed. It was a little old school for me in some ways, the ship. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the Vista. It looks a lot more modern, a lot sleeker, hoping that it's a better overall experience. But we'll let you know. We'll do a video on it, a review, and we'll be honest what we think.
It's a different ship and a totally different itinerary.
Next up, we've got the Celebrity Apex.
We're going from Fort Lauderdale to Barcelona. Looking forward to being back on the Edge class ship on Celebrity.
Great deals on transatlantics. We've got videos in the channel. We'll put some links down below. We posted recently some great transatlantic deals, some great trans-Pacific deals.
Mhm.
We're booked on several of them, so highly recommend. Then we've got the Diamond Princess, like we mentioned. We'll be doing other parts of Japan. We'll be sailing out of Tokyo, doing a round trip around the south and
Mhm.
coming back. So we haven't been on Princess in a while.
It's probably been a good 10 years, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, I think we've only done 4 Princess, and we probably did them in the course of 2 years, and it's been a long time since we've done that. In addition, we're gonna do the World Expo, so we got a lot of great stuff planned for Japan, but then we're gonna be sailing back to the US for our first ever Trans-Pacific, in this case, on Ovation of the Seas. Haven't been on that ship, but we've been on that class, the Quantum class. We're gonna be sailing with friends of ours and quite a few additional friends that we found out will be on there, and that's gonna go from May 15th to May 31st, and that'll get us back to LA.
Yeah, there's a huge group of nomads that are going to be on that ship, so it'll be a lot of fun. A lot of people we know already, which
Yeah.
is cool.
We got a few other sailings. We really wanted to get on one of the new celebrity ships, so Ascent and Beyond. So we did
Mhm.
force a booking. We're here doing the hard research for all you guys. You're welcome. So we decided to book ourselves on the Celebrity Beyond. We're going to do 1 week in the Caribbean. We'll do videos at that time on what everything was like. We're excited about it. Heard really good things. We've got this Azamara journey. Now, I talked earlier about being loyal to a cruise line. Another big tip that I have is status match. So one thing we were able to do back when Azamara was owned by Royal and Celebrity was get our status matched. Then we've done several sailings with them. But one of the nice perks on their program is they give free nights once you get to a certain level. So we cashed in our free nights on this Azamara journey. That's the ship. A cruise around the Mediterranean islands. I know we've got some islands that you're pretty excited about.
I am. You're going to hit Mallorca, which is great, and Menorca, but we're also going to hit like Sardinia, Corsica, Capri, Sicily. So I'm very excited about the different islands.
Yeah, it's nice to do some new things.
Then we have a crossing, another Barcelona to Fort Lauderdale on Allure of the Seas.
That's a Royal Caribbean. In this case, we were on Allure of the Seas when it first came out. We sailed Oasis like within the first few months of Oasis sailing. And then we did the same on Allure
Mhm.
when it came out of Florida in both cases. So I was intrigued to go back on Allure because I found out that they are doing their refurbishment update. So it'll be coming back with some changes, additions, updates. So we're really interested to see what it's going to look like with those enhancements and if the changes we're even going to notice them overall. We'll let you know with a video in the channel for sure. We've got some new countries to explore in 2025. Where are we off to, Monica?
On this cruise, the Vista that goes from LA to Miami, we're going to hit a few countries that are new: Nicaragua, Guatemala, and Colombia. So we meant to get to Colombia way sooner, but we had a family emergency and had to cancel our trip. I'm very excited that we're going to get to see all three of these countries on this trip. And then Tunisia is coming up on a future cruise as well. We are currently at 94 countries. Are we going to get to 100 this year? I don't know.
We
We can
might,
see.
we
Mhm.
probably travel a little differently or have a different goal in mind, Monica and myself. I really need to be drawn to a country.
One of us is a collector.
Monica could probably get from 94 to 100 countries in the next 30
I
days.
could do it in a week.
Take the under on the 30 days, it looks like. So for me, there are some places that I have used my veto a couple times because I'm not really drawn to it as much, but
Mhm.
we're going to get there. I realize I need to get us there. I have to say yes to a few more places, a few more countries in order to rack up some new ones. We've been to most places in Europe, but there still are a few countries
Mhm.
that we can check off maybe in 2025.
There's still a large amount of yesable countries for sure.
If we don't make it in 2025, I promise we'll make it there in 2026. We're also going to go back to a lot of our returning favorite destinations. We recommend this as another tip. Go back to some places that you've been to before, explore them again because it's really interesting. The second, third, fourth time we go, we have a totally different experience. It's not stressful because we're not worried about hitting all the hot spots and we get a bit more of an immersive experience, more local experience. If you go to this link on the screen, that you see, digitalromance.com. That's our blog as well, /free, or use the QR code. You can download additional tips on how to save money when you travel. Save money whether you're a luxury traveler or you're a budget traveler or anything in between. Maximize, right, the money that you're putting out there and get the most out of it with reward travel, etc. So I put together some of our favorite tips in this free downloadable. So go to that link and grab that. And then, of course, like we mentioned, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It helps an awful lot. We grew the channel a lot in 2024 because of all of you. We'd like to grow it further in 2025. So we really do appreciate that.
Every time we hit the States, it seems like we have a Mexican getaway. We love going to Cancun, Playa del Carmen. This time we're going to be staying at the Fives at the resort in near Cancun with some friends
Yeah.
and just probably hanging out. There's a million things to do in the Riviera Maya.
Yeah, it's a good time. We like to book some all inclusives. We do a lot of cruises. It's a great, affordable way to travel, but also it's a really amazing reset. If you're traveling like we are full time, every single night you do have to worry about where you're sleeping and then 2 to 3 meals a day. So sometimes when you cruise, you don't have to worry about any of that. When we do an all inclusive, we don't have to worry about anything. So we can do future planning. So I work those in on a regular basis. If you're going to travel more frequently, make sure you book some
Mhm.
more downtime. We've got a lot of additional places in Spain that we're going to be exploring. We've been exploring Spain a lot more: Barcelona, Mallorca, Valencia, Cartagena. We also love France. We love Paris, but we really have had a great time exploring the south of France,
Mhm.
some of the cities down there. We're going to be going to, on the cruise that we're doing, we end up in Nice.
It ends in Nice,
Where's
and
it
then
start?
we'll be staying in I think maybe Barcelona. A lot of our cruises this year going either in or out of
Yeah.
Barcelona.
Yeah. Just,
Have another one that's going to go out of and into Marseille, which is really nice.
yeah, that's going to be 2026. We booked for the first time ever on MSC. We booked Yacht Club. So to book a suite on MSC, it's a lot less than a typical suite would be on Celebrity or Royal, one of the more expensive cruise lines. So we decided we're going to go for it. We've heard great things about the Yacht Club,
Mhm.
but we're going to go ahead and give that a shot. But that'll be early 2026. Rome is also another city where we also have, like we mentioned, part of the reason we're in Barcelona and Rome a lot, as well as Paris, because we do have access to our fractional apartments.
Mm.
So we'll be in Rome several times next year as well. It's going to be a big year in Rome, so it might be busy.
This year is Jubilee. It's every 25 years, big Catholic event in Rome. It runs from last December until December of this year. Expect bigger crowds in Rome this year.
In December next year, we may do Christmas markets again because we had an amazing time. We did a Viking river cruise Christmas markets. We owe you all a video on that, a review
Mhm.
of Viking. We had some pros and cons about that experience on the river cruise itself, but we had an incredible experience at the different markets. So, a few things. Sometimes people ask us about this lifestyle in general. You can see there's a lot of perks, a lot of benefits, there's a lot of freedom, a lot of flexibility. Surprisingly, it's cost effective. Not everybody believes that, but it can really be very cost effective. What we have just found is we're able to live same level, same experience that we were in the US and Austin, but for probably about 50% less than we were spending back when we were at home most of the time. There are some downsides as well. What do you consider some of the downsides? If anything, maybe you don't see.
Any downsides? No, I'll say constant packing, although we travel with carry-on only. We each have a carry-on, we each have a backpack, and you can unpack and repack really fast,
You'd be
which is
amazed.
great.
Sometimes we finish unpacking, it's like, huh, that's it. I guess that's all we have.
Connectivity issues definitely can be a
Sometimes.
headache, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
Oh, yeah.
You can legitimately work on a cruise
And we do.
nowadays
Yeah, we're
with
connected to Starlink,
Starlink.
and that's been pretty good. Every once in a while, I've had a bad day, but it usually doesn't hold up too long. Laundry is a challenge. Getting your clothes clean, especially when you're on carry-ons, and you got stuff enough for a week to 10 days. You'd be shocked how much you can fit in a carry-on, by the way. Sometimes people think you travel with 2 shirts. I had probably 10 or 12 shirts.
It's
So,
my superpower for sure. I
yep.
can fit so much in that thing. It's almost as heavy as a regular bag.
Yeah, no cabbie can actually lift Monica's bag off the ground.
Marco, that's the heavy one.
Yeah, I always go, we miss family, we miss friends. That's why we travel to them a lot. We probably actually see family and friends more than we did before because we make time for it now that we maybe didn't always make time for.
What we miss most is having dogs.
That's
That's
hard
really
to
the
do.
thing we miss the most, but
And those are not in Monica's carry-on. If there was a way, we would probably sneak them in.
yeah.
If this is something you're interested in, keep watching the channel. There's also amazing other channels on YouTube. I've watched a lot of them over the years that I've learned a lot from as well. And I always just try to stress you can do it a lot of different ways. Plan ahead, try it out. That's what we did. We stayed a month a while back once in Portugal. I was like, okay, we can do this. And we started doing some longer trips, which we typically in the past really weren't able to do, maybe a week or two at a time. We started realizing we were gone for a few weeks or a month now. It's easy for everything from paying bills to two-factor authentication to manage your life from anywhere. It's easy to get internet from anywhere. You can get it on your cell with Arolo, the eSIM. We can put a link down below. We use that everywhere we go internationally. So it's actually not that difficult at all. There's amazing community out there. We mentioned that. You'll find people, you'll find your tribe.
We've got content on our website about becoming a digital nomad. If you have any questions, just drop us a line. There's a contact form there. And we can always put you in touch with some of our great nomad resources as well.
You travel differently when you live this way. It's a lot less hectic, a lot less of trying to do everything. In the 3, 4 days you're going to be there, it's a really unique and I think really special way to travel. Even if we slow down, we'll still probably continue to pursue longer term travel. Even though we're back at home base for longer stretches, we're still going to be gone for good stretches as well. So future travel goals, what are they?
We'd like to hit 100 countries. At least one of us would.
Yes, me too. I'm on board.
I know,
2026.
I know you are.
Off the beaten path destinations. We do like to get to some places that we haven't been. Even when we're looking at cruises, we love to cruise. When we're doing trans-Pacifics, transatlantics, it doesn't matter. I don't mind repeating the same places because the experience is totally different and we're trying to get somewhere and enjoy it. But when we're doing some of the cruises like an intensive, we want to go deeper dive. Maybe that's why we do some more of like in the one country where we hit a lot more ports and smaller ports. So we'll definitely be doing more of that. Not sure about learning new languages for me. I can't learn languages. I'm awful. And craft and art, I'm terrible. This must have been Monica's thing.
I can learn snippets of new languages for at least a week and then it just goes. I do try. Anyway, it's important to try, I think. They do appreciate it.
I'm going to give back by actually trying not to master any languages and butchering them, but I try to learn the basics, the hellos, the thank yous, all that sort of
Please.
thing. People do really appreciate it. I do my best, but it's not great. That is our 2024. It's our 2025. We need to hear from you. Put in the comments down below favorite places in 2024, worst places, best experiences, worst experiences, and what you have planned for 2025. What would you like us to do future videos on? We get some great ideas in the comments. So if you wouldn't mind, put that down below. So with that, we're going to see you out there.